Coach Corey Wayne, and this is my video coaching newsletter. And the topic of today's newsletter is going to be, am I wasting time holding on? Well, I've got an email here from a viewer, and he brings up a really good point. And this is something that a lot of guys are guilty of. Always constantly needing reassurance of where they stand with a woman. Is she in? Is she out? Is she going to love him tomorrow? Does she still love him today? When a guy's constantly focusing on things like that, it's going to cause the woman to feel like, and women do this as well, it's going to cause the other person to feel like they're going to lose their freedom, or there's an impending loss of freedom, and they're going to naturally back away. The important thing is to not do that. You got to be okay with whether the person sticks around or leaves your life. It doesn't matter. Either way, you're going to be happy. You decided ahead of time that you're going to be happy no matter what happens. Why? Because if it doesn't work out with this person, there's another bus every 15 fucking minutes. I got a quote that I wrote on this particular topic, and then we're going to jump right in and go through his email. And the quote says, "A committed exclusive relationship happens slowly over time. Two people start hanging out, having fun, and hooking up over the course of several months. Under normal, healthy circumstances, the focus is simply on having fun, getting to know one another, and enjoying a growing emotional, mental, spiritual, and physical connection. When a man or woman starts dating with the intent to lock the other person down to a commitment, constantly needing to find out where they stand with the other person, getting a relationship status label, controlling or possessing the other, this will cause the person who is less emotionally invested to feel an impending loss of freedom and therefore a loss of sexual attraction. Their natural tendency will be to pull back and desire space and time away from their new or potential lover. If the person who is more emotionally invested does not give the other person the space and freedom to come and go as they please, the least emotionally invested person will leave and never come back." So let's go through his email. He says, "Hey Corey, first off, I want to thank you for the work you're doing. It's selfless and it's really helping me and other people alike through difficult times in their lives." That's my purpose, dude. That's what I'm here for. I like making the world a happier and better place. He says, "My situation is that I broke up with my girlfriend of 5 years a little over 5 months ago. We also lived together for 1 year. During the time of the breakup, I told her I felt as if I was making the biggest mistake of my life, but I didn't know what else to do. For the most part of our relationship was effortless because we were so compatible, and we've been friends for over 6 years prior to dating." Damn, that's a long time. So you were in friend zone for 6 years before you started dating. "After the first month, I reached out after having limited contact and apologized for walking out and not working on our issues. We struggled to communicate as partners about what we needed and wanted from the relationship. This led to a lack of intimacy and appreciation on both of our parts." So in other words, you stopped having fun together and you started having more drama and more issues, and that's just a bad way to go. He says, "We met up at a local spot, had a few drinks, went to dinner, and then we went to the beach. We hung out for over 8 hours, talked about our challenges, and really just enjoyed each other's company." So you got back to having fun. That is a good thing. "She said she still needed time to think and process everything. I told her to take the time she needs, but that this is what I wanted." Hopefully, you're congruent with that statement. Because you can't tell a woman, "Hey, take all the time you need," or "Hey, call me when you figure out your schedule," and then a day or two later you're like, "Hey, well, when are you free? Hey, what did you decide?" It's going to cause her to feel like she's losing her freedom. You got to give her the space that when she's good, damn, and ready, she'll get in touch with you. And a lot of guys that are needy, that are insecure, that are desperate, that are fearful, they won't wait. And they try to force things by continuing to contact her. It's a bad fucking way to go. All it does is make you look weak and desperate. And when you do that, it's going to turn her off. Because when a woman senses weakness, it causes her to not trust your masculine core. And when she doesn't trust your masculine core, she's going to back away, become unsure, become confused. He says a couple of days went by, and she reached out and asked to hang out. So, it sounds like you waited. Good job. We hung out and caught up some more, and then she ended up kissing me. Well, that's a good sign. He says, we talked and hung out some more over the next few weeks, and it seemed as if we were getting closer and closer to figuring things out. Figuring things out. In other words, I was getting closer and closer to getting her to commit to me, and so I could lock her down and feel better about myself. Instead of just allowing her to fall back in love with you slowly over time, you're trying to lock her down and cage her. And so without realizing it, you're already sabotaging your success. Because instead of creating an opportunity for sex to happen, instead of focusing on just hanging out, having fun, and hooking up, everything's like, when are we going to have the talk? Where do I stand with you? When are we going to be back together? When can we move in again and back into each other's lives and get on with our love story? It's a bad way to go. We even slept together at one point. Well, that's a good sign. Then we talked, and she confirmed she's still not ready. I.e., I tried to lock her down to a commitment and get her to be exclusive with me, and she bounced on me. Dude, you were doing fine, hanging out, having fun, and hooking up. But instead, you tried to force things so you could feel better about yourself that you had her back. You have to be okay either way. Dude, you're spending time with her, you're hanging out, you're having fun, you're hooking up, and you just blow it up when you do that. I continue to tell her to take the time. It's like when you tell her to take all the time she needs, but then you're constantly like, hey, what are we? Are we exclusive? Have you made up your mind yet? You're not congruent with that statement. And therefore, you're expressing weakness. And when you're expressing weakness, she's not going to trust your masculine core. And if she doesn't trust your masculine core, she's not going to feel safe and comfortable with you. Women have to feel safe and comfortable. And if they're not feeling safe and comfortable, they're going to back away and not give you what it is that you want, which is a commitment. That's why you don't need to talk about the commitment. Just be an awesome, fun guy to hang out with and have fun and hook up with. And she'll make the decision that she wants to be exclusive again when she feels it. It took months to fall out of love, and it'll take months for her to fall back in love. Just like originally when you got together, it took time for her to fall in love with you. He says she continued initiating contact to hang out. Seeing that she was still pursuing me, I chased back, which in hindsight was probably not the best decision. You think? He says, I appeared as and unknowingly projected a needy and desperate version of myself. What was I just saying a minute ago? He says, I started bringing up good memories of the past and chasing her. It's good that you're bringing up good memories of the past because those elicit good positive feelings within her. Remember, whatever a woman is feeling when she's with you or talking to you or interacting with you is what she's going to associate with being with you. So that's why you should focus on putting a smile on her face, making her laugh, and having a good time. But when you try to lock her down to a commitment, get her to tell you where you stand, that's not fun. You cause her to do something before she's ready to do it. Really, not because of her, but because of your own insecurities. It's a way that we project our own self-hatred, self-loathing, and fears onto the other person. So we try to force them to give us what we want. Even if somebody gives us what we want because we force them, at the end of the day, this shit always blows up in your face. He says, but just when I backed off, she contacted again. We went to a concert that we had planned a few months prior to the breakup, and she was holding on to me, and we held hands and danced a few times. Notice how she backs away. You stop pursuing. You don't do anything. She comes back. You go to a concert, and she's all over you. Why? You gave her the freedom to come and go. And because she had the freedom to come and go, she felt your strength to resist her. She felt your strength that you would be okay without her. And therefore, she trusted your masculine core. She started to feel safe and comfortable. And therefore, she can't keep her hands off of you. She was living in the moment, but I was overanalyzing her every action. This led to me pursuing and chasing more and more while still going out and meeting other women and people in general. It's kind of like trying to clean your house while somebody's throwing dirt in through the windows. It's just not helpful. He says, I recently asked her to meet up, and she said she would have to get back to me as her brothers were in town. The following day, she said she wouldn't be able to meet up. He says, I said, okay, hopefully we can hang out soon, and sent her a picture that I had come across from junior high. I told her she still looked as beautiful as always, but I got no response. So here we are, 5 months down the road, and I haven't reached out to her in almost 2 weeks. So in other words, he's looking at it going, we've been talking, and hanging out, having fun, and hooking up occasionally over the past 5 months, but we're still not back together. What does that tell me? That tells me that you're still focused on locking her down to a commitment instead of letting her come to you, dude. Let her do all the calling, all the texting, all the pursuing, and just set dates when she does. Every time you try to force it, what happens? She backs away and becomes unavailable and then doesn't want to see you, and the sex stops. At some point, you got to realize it's probably not a good idea to continue trying to chase and pursue her and to force her. Just an observation. He says, I heard from a mutual friend that she was wondering about me and said she would reach out to me soon. My question is, should I continue to reach out and hang out with her or just let her come to me? Come on, man. Seriously? You've watched how many videos of mine? You've read my book how many times? How is reaching out and chasing her working out for you? 5 months. Are you back together? Nope. So you want to continue to do more? 5 months? If you keep doing what you're doing 5 months from now, you'll still be in the same place. Let her come to you. It's got to be her idea. When she reaches out, that means she's ready. That means that she's had enough time to think and to be away from you and to miss you and for those feelings to develop within her. And therefore, when she reaches out, you assume she wants to see you. And like a smart man would do, he creates an opportunity for sex to happen. He hangs out, he has fun, and he hooks up. He says, she's the person I truly want, but I'm confused on whether or not I should move on. Let her come to you, dude. And then when she reaches out, just make the next date. It's really simple. And I would just have her come over to your place. Tell her to bring a bottle of wine or coffee or tea if you're not a drinker or whatever. And make dinner together. Hang out, have fun, and hook up at your place. You got to let go of your need to lock this woman down to a commitment. You got to stop pursuing her, stop calling her, because it's totally counterproductive. Think of it. If a woman is chasing you and calling you and pursuing you, she will never fucking dump you. But if a woman is chasing you and calling you and pursuing you, and you start to call and chase and pursue her more and more, but then you do it so much that you come off needy and desperate, and then she starts to back away, but you don't modify or change her behavior, what you'll notice is it will get to the point where she's not calling or texting you at all. And then it'll get to the point where she's not even returning your phone calls or messages, and every time you ask her out, she's busy, or she's got to think about it, or she's not sure, or she'll have to get back to you, or she's confused. Let women come to you, dude. You have to do that. Just hang back, wait to hear from her. When she does reach out, be glad that she called or texted you or got in touch, and then make the next date. Live in the present moment. Stop worrying about whether or not it's been 5 months and you're going to ever get together again. If you let her come to you and you make dates when it happens, and you maintain her level of safety and freedom and the comfort that she has, her attraction will grow and grow to the point where, guess what? She'll start calling you and texting you more and more to the point where it's just about every day. And if she's calling and texting you pretty much every day and you're making dates when that happens, you're going to be together pretty much 24/7. And then things will get to the point where she asks to be exclusive again. When she brings it up, it means she's ready for it. The reason she hasn't brought it up is because you're always chasing her out of your life, dude. Simplify your life, dude. Wait to hear from her. Make the next date. It's really fucking simple. My advice to you is to start reading the book 10 to 15 times. You obviously don't know the book very well because you're still making a lot of mistakes after 5 months now. So if you'd like to get my help personally, the quickest way is to book a paid phone coaching or Skype session or email coaching. You can choose any of those options by going to my website, clicking the products tab at the top of your screen, and just follow the instructions for whichever option works best for you. And I will talk to you soon.